You know how every Creatures of Sonaria video on YouTube seems to start the same way? This is the strongest creature in the entire game. New best creature, totally broken. And then you watch it, and the creature they're hyping up gets folded in half by literally anything with teeth. But today, we're not doing that. This isn't clickbait, this isn't a technically strong if the stars align and your enemy falls asleep kind of creature. No. Today, you're actually going to learn about what might genuinely be the single most overpowered creature in Creatures of Sonaria. No exaggeration, no fluff, just pure unfiltered power. We're talking about Pentagloss today, the tiny flying squid bird thing that looks harmless until it erases half the server and makes you question the devs' balance decisions. So buckle up, because we're diving into what makes Pentagloss so busted, what little weaknesses it actually has, and how you can use it to become everyone's least favorite icon on the world map. Before we begin, please comment down below which creature you'd like me to cover next, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Let's start with what makes Pentagloss so absurdly strong, because there's a lot to unpack. The first thing you notice when you spawn in is the speed. Pentagloss isn't just fast, it's slippery. It feels like you're piloting a hummingbird made of air and spite. Between its tiny size and its incredible aerial control, most creatures will struggle just to land a single hit on you, let alone fight you head on. And then you look at the health bar, and that's when things get weird. For something this small, you'd expect a modest HP pool. Instead, the game hands you 2000 health for a tier 1. That's the same HP as Vermora, a squishy but much larger tier 3 creature. So now you're not only evasive, you're surprisingly durable too, which is a terrifying combination. But the real magic happens when you start attacking. Pentagloss's damage is honestly laughable. 45 damage is practically symbolic. But Pentagloss doesn't win through direct damage. It wins through status application, mainly corrosion and frostbite. These start out small, but when stacked high enough, they turn enemies into sluggish, weakened targets who can barely fight back. That's where Shadow Barrage comes in, and this is the true source of its power. Shadow Barrage is already overpowered on Zimorax, which has a Shadow Barrage level of 3. Pentagloss has the single highest Shadow Barrage value in the game. One nibble instantly becomes a burst of 5 additional Phantom Bites, stacking debuffs so quickly that even large, tanky creatures start falling apart. Combine that with Pentagloss's lightning-fast attack speed, tied for the fastest in the game, and the status stacks climb so quickly, your opponent usually has no idea what hit them. And as if all that wasn't enough, Pentagloss's ability kit feels like an entire care package of extras. Keen Observer lets you see health bars and invisible creatures. Drowsy Area slows enemies to a miserable crawl. Quick Recovery lets you regenerate absurd amounts of health when you're low. And it just keeps going. Cold Weather Resistance, the ability to climb, eat rotten food, raiding burrows. It's almost comedic how many perks Pentagloss has that it doesn't even need. Put all of that together, and you get a creature that you can't outrun, whose attacks you can't tank, can't hide from, and can't even burrow to escape it. So, what can you even do about it? Well, for all its strengths, Pentagloss isn't completely unstoppable. It does have weaknesses. Few, but important ones. Pentagloss's most glaring kryptonite is water. It really is an awful swimmer. It has a tiny stamina pool and a laughably short oxygen timer. Touch water, and you might as well start composing your final message. Only aquatic and semi-aquatic creatures live in the one place where Pentagloss simply cannot follow. Another weakness to keep in mind is its weight, or lack of it. Pentagloss is light enough that if something does manage to hit you, it will hurt, despite your disproportionate health pool. It's very much a don't get touched creature, because even if you can take a couple hits, you most definitely won't be tanking much more. Between its lack of defensive statuses and its fragile weight tier, a few well-timed swings from a reasonably skilled opponent can absolutely turn the fight around. So if you're watching this video to find out how to counter Pentagloss, here you go. Either lure it toward water, or pray to God that whoever's piloting it is not very good. That's really it. Building Pentagloss isn't about boosting its damage. You're never turning this creature into a brute force brawler. What you're aiming for is status application and survivability. Gentle Elder is perfect for that. More stamina means longer airtime and better mobility, and the extra health regeneration pairs beautifully with quick recovery, letting you bounce back from low health in a way that feels almost unfair. For traits, health is the standout choice. More regen, more staying power, everything you want. Your secondary trait is flexible depending on your playstyle, a bit more bite speed, a touch more weight, some extra stamina, or a little more speed. None of these drastically change the creature, but they each add a small advantage in different areas that's just as valid as the rest. Your plushie options are fairly limited. Pentagloss doesn't apply any natural damage over time effects, so you absolutely want at least one plushie that gives you a DOT, bleed, burn, or poison, depending on what resistances you want to bypass. After that, you can double down with a second offensive plushie for even more pressure, or you can run something more utility focused, like Heart or Darkstar, to improve your sustain or recovery from status. There's even a funny little gimmick build that uses Astral Quetzal and Ghost to become immune to bleed, but you'll lose a huge chunk of your damage potential, so it's more of a novelty than a competitive option. Pentagloss is one of those rare creatures that doesn't just feel strong, it feels unfair. It's fast, fairly tanky, evasive, overloaded with utility, and capable of shredding opponents with status effects faster than even the most oppressive ailment stackers could ever even dream of. It's the kind of creature that makes even experienced players groan the moment they see it flying overhead. When YouTubers say the strongest creature in the game, it's usually just hype. When you say it about Pentagloss, this time it just might be true. If you enjoyed this guide or learnt something new, please consider leaving a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this pop up in your feed in the future. Until next time.